All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Coach Nate here. Welcome again. Wednesday, January 10th. Coach Nate Show Live number 2. I didn't put it in the title. I thought I'd be getting a little bit long with the title there, but thank you so much. Interesting topic here. And again, we're already almost halfway through the month. So I hope you guys are sticking with your goals. I hope you guys are having a fantastic January, and I hope you guys have had a fantastic week meeting those goals and everything coming together here. We have an interesting topic, like I said, the carnivore diet, maybe the most popular diet, or at least the most talked about diet. Talking with my clients, seeing it on the internet, seeing it in different videos. Again, I can't seem to get away from talking about diet and talking about the carnivore diet. Really made popular. I guess it really exploded post or during, I would say during the pandemic, and then has really taken off post pandemic. So since 2022, I would say it's really taken off, and there's been a couple of reasons for that. Today I want to get into what the carnivore diet is, which is pretty simple. Does the carnivore diet work? Is it a fad? Should we follow it? And then we'll get into a breakdown, an analysis and discussion of it as well. And I'm very much looking forward to that because there's some interesting things to discuss about the carnivore diet, what exactly it is, what are some of the potential benefits, and what might be some of the risks of some people who are thinking about going on the carnivore diet. First of all, Snowy, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you made it today. Thank you. Mary, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. I know, Wednesday already. Can you believe that? Thank you, Mary. Happy Wednesday to you as well. I guess we'll get this out of the way just real quick. Next stream, face will be on cam. Everything is in. And this will be interesting for the people who are listening later. The face will be on stream. The camera's all set up. Everything is in for the studio. Everything is set up for the studio. Again, I'm a perfectionist. I want everything in here. I've moved everything around, and so we'll get the face on there. Today you'll have to deal with looking at a couple studies and without my face, but maybe that's a good thing for some people. But either way, we'll probably have a stream, a little check-in stream before Saturday, and then we'll keep going with the face on cam. And I'm really excited for that. I'd much rather do it with the cam, but it is what it is. Cam's not on today. We're going to just keep rolling with how it is. So good morning to everyone. Good morning to you, Mary PA. Thank you so much, Mary PA. I'm glad you're in here. Feel free to ask questions. Again, we have our topic. Feel free to ask questions on the diet, on any other diets, fitness, nutrition in general. I want this to be an open dialogue. All right. The streams are nice when I'm just talking and I'm giving my points, but it's always great to have open dialogue. But I think, there'll be some questions with the carnivore diet. The one I get the most is it good? Is the carnivore diet good? Now, let's just start right into what are some of the foods on a carnivore diet. I say we just jump right into it here, guys. Okay, we just get right into it, get the information rolling, and then we can get into a discussion after. I think it's important to note, if you've listened to any of my streams, if you know my philosophy, sorry about that, I'm going to move that over in a second. If you've listened to any of my streams, if you know my philosophy on diet, you know that there is no best diet, there is no unhealthy diet, unless you're eating trans fats and things of that nature, processed foods. As long as you're eating healthy foods, I'm not against that diet. So am I against carnivore diet? Absolutely not. Just like I'm not against keto, all right? Just like I'm not against intermittent fasting. Do I think that there's pros and cons to certain diets? Absolutely. And there is to every single diet, and I think that's the most important thing to put out there. And another thing that I want to point out, when doing research on the carnivore diet, you find a lot of anecdotal evidence, okay? It's a newer diet. There's just not the studies out there that are going to be backing up the claims of, the things that people are reporting on. All right, so I did find one study I think it's probably the best study out there, and I'll put it on screen. We'll go over it. I know some people aren't always the biggest fans of going over studies. I'm going to make it really simple. We're just going to go over a chart, go over a graph on self-reported feelings of, how did they feel on the carnivore diet? Did things improve? Did things get worse? And then we can go over that. And that will pretty much sum up what we're going to go over on this study. But again, it's hard to find that scientific sort of explanation of why people are feeling better, why people have more energy, why people are having some of the diseases that they are dealing with. Autoimmune disease, digestive issues, thinking more clear, all right, mood, all of these different things that you're going to see pop up in the studies. You're going to see that in the figure, and I just want to say, you can't really, it's hard to find. It might be out there. I haven't found anything. I did a deep dive, but I just haven't found any studies to back it up. Right now, a lot of it is anecdotal. Now, the weight loss, that's well studied, even though it's not specific to the carnivore diet. We know why people are losing weight on the carnivore diet. It's because you're going to feel more satiated eating protein and fat. Let me just put up what are the foods on the carnivore diet? What's the foods list? All right, well, this is something that's been well studied and something we've talked about on the channel before. All right, people are going to feel more satiated eating protein and fat while they're on the carnivore diet, just like they are on a keto diet. Remember, I start my day with protein and fats every single morning. All right, so you're going to feel more full. You're not getting that insulin or glucose spike where your body is, craving more and more. It could even be fruit. All right, it's sugar. All right, we're increasing glucose, we're increasing insulin, we're getting that spike, and our body is obviously craving more. So you're going to be feeling more satiated. You're not going to be getting those spikes that are going up and down. Here is our foods list. And this is why a lot of people, and this is why it's important, it's kind of a simple diet. And that's one thing that I do like about it. It's very simple and easy to follow. I mean, most people who are on it, it's funny. It's like, what is your diet on the carnivore diet? It's like, well, 2 ribeye steaks, maybe 3 eggs in the morning with some cheese and things of that nature, maybe some salmon, and then they're good to go. So here are the foods. I mean, again, I'm not going to go through all of them. I think we got beef, we got turkey, we got chicken. Eggs are really, really popular. Salmon, really popular. You're getting obviously good protein, and you're getting obviously a lot of fats on this. All right, you can have processed meats. Damon, big shout out to you. Positive vibes to all on this Wednesday. Coach Nate, thank you, Damon. Positive vibes to you as well. And everyone who's in chat right now, and everyone who's listening to this later on. Now, the nice thing is you're getting a lot of K2 if you are eating liver, heart, kidneys. See, there's some interesting things on this diet. A lot of people so if you are eating these organ meats, you are getting K2. Now, let me slow it down just a little bit here. All right, so I like this food list because it's kind of broken up into different sections. All right, you have your meat, poultry, you have your fats, you have some of your dairy. A lot of it is going to be coming from this meat and poultry section, okay? You're already getting a lot of protein, and you're getting a lot of fats from that meat and poultry section, because they go with, if you have a ribeye steak, you are getting a ton of fat with that ribeye steak. I forget what it is per ounce, all right? But it's going to be a marbled beef, a marbled steak. There's a lot of fat in that. Same thing with pork, obviously. Chicken, a little more lean, but with that beef, and beef is the big one. A lot of people who are on a carnivore diet go with beef. Bacon, obviously, same thing. All right, seafood on the carnivore diet. Not as popular, but it is in there. All right, salmon, very popular. I should say that. Tuna will be popular. Yes, brain. I know, Snowy. Can you believe it? There is some brain. And, that's just one food out of all of these, does that mean everyone who's on the carnivore diet is eating brain from animals, obviously? No, it does not. Tongue, no, it does not. All right. Think liver. All right. This is the big one. That's why it's at the top. All right. Kidneys sometimes in there too. But think of those organ meats like liver. All right. Those are the big ones. All right. So don't get the idea. I don't want to put out the idea that everyone who's on the carnivore diet is eating brain and tongue and all of that stuff. Maybe some people are, but it's going to be a lot of liver. All right. A lot of salmon. Mackerel, sardines, getting those high fats in there as well, and healthy fats. Liver, we see bacon, sausage, obviously that's going to be a very, very popular one. Eggs is another popular one, okay? Heavy cream, all right? They're not having 2% milk. You're not going to have 2% milk on the diet, all right? There's just too much carbs, all right? There's too much milk sugar that's in that, all right? So you go with the heavy cream. And even cheese, all right? It's very, very careful with it, all right? You need to be eating high-fat cheese, right? And making sure you're not getting in carbohydrates with all of these different foods. Fats and oils. Olive oil, if you are on the carnivore diet, olive oil is a big one, all right? Olive oil, I know, it gives me, that's what I think of too, Snow. It's funny you say that. Olive oil is the big one. Duck fat and lard are a big one too, all right? I've watched a lot of videos, all right, and a lot are going with duck fat and lard, all right? Ghee as well. I'm surprised it's not on this list. So Ghee, all right? Maybe they can put it under lard, all right? But olive oil for sure. And then you have your broths. These are all good. Bone broth, obviously. And then your seasonings. These are the low calorie. You're not getting any really calories from salt, pepper, mustard. You got your hot sauce, your apple cider vinegar, and your spices. Now, why are they eating like this? Well, a lot of it goes back to, the early humanoids out there. We were made to eat meat. We hunted and foraged, all right, for our food, all right? And so the thought out there is we break these foods down. Our body was made for these foods. It's good for gut health, good for energy. We're going back to those foods that we were eating back in the day, all right? The thought process is, right, and I don't need to look at studies. I've gone over these. But the thought process seems to be, right, where they're going on these high protein, higher fat diets, right, because that's what we ate when we were going back to our ancestors, all right? We weren't made to eat sort of vegetables, fruits, things of that nature, all right? Eating meat, all right, it's not complicated, all right? You're not looking for color, and it's not going to be one of those fun diets where you're, looking at bell peppers and trying to get as much color into your diet as you can. You are focused on these meats, and that is really it, all right? It's ketogenic, you're burning fat, all right? And so you need to be off those carbohydrates. Now, again, some people will call it the keto diet, ketogenic, high fat, all right, so moderate protein. I think it's a lot of times higher protein, all right, and then high fat. It's like 50-50 sometimes. It just depends what you're eating, all right. They say very low carbohydrate. With a carnivore diet, it's pretty much zero carbohydrates, all right, zero carbohydrates. You're not getting in vegetables. Now, that's... Yes, I don't want to miss any questions. So that's where it goes back to. It goes back to how our ancestors ate and the foods that our body is craving. You're going to get a lot of micronutrients. You're going to get a lot of good fats, all right? If you are having olive oil, obviously good fats there. You need those omega-3s, so that's why you go with the sardines, mackerel, to salmon. You're getting omega-3s, which I love. Right, but you're not getting the vegetables. You do not see vegetables, and you do not see fruit on here. That's very important to point out, because on a ketogenic diet, all right, you are allowed about 50 grams of carbohydrates. You're not going to get that on this carnivore diet. Mary, I see you have a question here. Let me get to that. My question about this way of eating is, how do you get the fiber that is needed? Okay, very good question. I think that's a great question. All right, excellent question, Mary. And I think that's one of the three big questions. One of the three big questions that I have with this diet as well. How do you get the fiber that supposedly, helps with gut health? All right, that's going to be healthy for our gut, feeds good bacteria in our gut. I think that's a really important question. I think the counter argument is that when you're eating these meats, it is promoting good gut health. All right, the carnivore diet. All right, what individuals are sort of saying, and again, it doesn't go back to studies. All right, you replace sort of anti-inflammatory foods. So they would find carbohydrates as anti-inflammatory, as inflammatory. All right, inflammatory foods, right, are going to be decreasing good bacteria in the gut. Right? So the first thing, right, is one, you could just supplement with it. You could take a probiotic. But the other big issue here is, and the other big argument is, you take out carbohydrates, you take out things like fruit, right, that it seems to be sort of promoting promoting inflammation throughout the body. Right? They starve themselves of that. All right, so they will argue, right, that you're sort of starving your gut of these bad inflammatory foods. All right, and so when you do that, you're starving. You're starving out the bad bacteria in your gut throughout the digestive system. All right, and that's what I've took it to be, and that's what seems to be the argument. All right, you have sort of these foods here that are going to starve out the bad bacteria that aren't going to cause inflammation, and through that, right, even with the fiber, right, you can supplement with fiber. You can, it's going to be low fiber anyway. It's going to be a diet that's low in fiber. But the carnivore diet, one of my major questions is, how do you get it? All right, this diet does not provide fiber. All right, and that's simply something that is accepted, Mary. All right, it's accepted. Sorry, just catching up on the comments here. I know I went off into the probiotics and the good and bad bacteria, but any fiber discussion goes back to those. Made a burger from ground turkey, nice, mixed with ground Italian sausage, nice. Cooked in olive oil and avocado, grilled onions also. That sounds great, Damon. That sounds like a great meal. Lot of protein in there, good healthy fats, as you know. Big fan of avocado and olive oil. Then you got the onions, prebiotics, very nice. Christine, great to see you in chat. Hello from Northern Virginia. Welcome, Christine. Thank you so much for joining. Mary, so basically the meats and other proteins are doing what the vegetables do. Yeah. I'm just like, well, that's the thing, Mary. They're supplementing, right? They're supplementing for what the vegetables would do. It's exactly, you're pretty much summing up. All right. Now, is there science? Is there things to back this up other than anecdotal? No. All right. Let's just get right down to the point. All right. On a carnivore diet, you're not going to be getting fiber. It does not provide fiber. All right. It does not provide fiber. All right. Fiber, again, non-digestible carb, guys. All right. Promotes gut health. The proper functioning of the gut. That's what we're getting from fiber. All right. It's mostly found in plant foods. It's mostly found in some carbohydrates, in fruits. Again, look at this list. You don't see any of that on this list here, right? If there's any that's going to be providing, I can't think of one. Maybe some fiber in sausages. I'm not sure. All right, but you don't see a lot of fiber. You're not going to see a lot of fiber. It's a protein and it's a fat diet, guys. Right? So, when it comes to the carnivore diet, again, individuals, what they will tell you, without soluble and insoluble fiber, all right, we know that fiber, soluble fiber, can be fermented by the gut, all right, creates short chain fatty acids. I always sometimes get those mixed up with insoluble. We know that insoluble fiber is not broken down by the body. It can help, again, with good bacteria in the gut. But what people are telling you, all right, it's just claim benefits of fiber. All right, claim benefits of fiber helps maintain gut health, lower things like cholesterol, control blood sugar levels, but you don't need that. All right, you're not trying to control blood sugar levels with fiber here, Mary. All right, you're controlling blood sugar levels with, all right, a low and basically no carbohydrate diet here. You're getting good gut health because you're getting non-inflammatory foods. All right, those inflammatory foods are going to come from carbohydrates. All right, and the breaking down of certain carbohydrates and feeding bad bacteria because it gets broken down into sugar. It's a very good question. All right, it's a very good question. All right, again, fiber and gut health. All right, when you look at individuals, right, we see that those individuals who are on a carnivore diet, and again, this is anecdotal, and this is why it's hard for me to put out. All right, because for me, it's basically, all right, to get your fiber, all right, you're going to want to have these foods, you're going to want to have these carbohydrates, all right? But the anecdotal evidence from someone on a carbohydrate diet is, all right, summing up everything, right? We see, non-inflammatory foods taking the place of fiber, and then what they would argue, right, and I think what a lot of people who are on a carnivore diet, they go back, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to put it up here in a second, right? Fiber is not essential, all right, is not an essential part of a healthy human diet, all right? They don't think they need fiber, all right? They don't think they need fiber, all right, to be healthy, all right, because they're getting their health from these anti-inflammatory foods, these foods that aren't going to spike glucose and insulin, these foods that aren't going to be turned into sugar and then feed bad bacteria and decrease good bacteria. So that is sort of the argument. We know that fiber, and then it would kind of be sort of the overrated, almost an assumption that fiber has a massive implication on gut microbiome, right? And that maybe we don't fully understand the mechanisms at play of what, getting good bacteria really is. All right, but again, it's tough because there's no studies. All right, there's just no studies that show that. But there is a ton of anecdotal evidence. All right, you go to a forum on people who are following the carnivore diet. You go to a forum, so a message board on that. They're finding that their gut health is improving. They're finding that they've never had better digestion. So they don't need this fiber. And then maybe, a lot of the times, and why I think you don't need to stay on carnivore diet for a long time. Maybe that's your best bet. But there's a lot of people who've been doing it for 5-7 years. They started it back in 2017, 2018. That's quite a long time, isn't it? So basically, the meats and other proteins are doing. Okay, yes, exactly, Mary. Thalma, great to see you in there. Great to see you in chat. Thank you, Thalma. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Hope you're getting great weather in Florida today, Thalma. Hey, not such a great day. Up here, I mean, it's not too cold, but just no sun. We haven't gotten any sun. I'm making sure I am supplementing with vitamin D. So, not to put you on the spot, Coach Nate, but as a health coach, what is your take on fiber? Well, that's a good question, Mary. Here's my take and here's my opinion. And again, you take it with a grain of salt. Um, Everything that I've seen in studies at this point, because there's a ton of studies on fiber here, Mary. All right, we see that fiber is an important part for gut health. I think fiber is important. I think you need to feed the gut. All right, I think you need to feed the gut, and I think fiber does a tremendous job with doing that. That is my take. That is what the science is showing. And that's what it showed for a very long time, Mary. My take is that fiber is almost an essential for good health. Now, there's going to be people in the carnivore diet world that are not going to agree with this. There's going to be people who are listening to this in the carnivore diet world that are going to tune out at this point, right? Because they just don't agree with that, right? People, and here's the thing too, and this is where neuroscience comes into play, and neuroscience is one of those big things that I've been, trying to study, all right? Trying my best for self-study because I think it's very important. You eat that steak, you eat some healthy fats with it, maybe you cook it in olive oil, you're full, and then you go and you add fruit to your diet, and then now neurons in the stomach are sending signals to your brain, right? We're getting these foods, we're getting sugar, give me more, all right? They would totally argue, and that would be an argument that they would have, all right? And it is true, all right? That's not false, all right? If you're getting sugar, your body is going to be sending neurons into the brain, all right, that is telling you that you want more, all right? That's why you do not feel full. I always go back to one thing that I heard. I don't remember if I read it or I heard it, but they always start, if you're going to be eating, start with protein and fat first. Not your carbohydrate, because you might be full after that meal and you might not need those carbohydrates. And so, no, take that for what it is. But that's a great question, Mary. I don't think you're putting me on the spot at all. I think it's a very good question. What is my take on fiber? I am a big fan of fiber, Mary. Now, for some people who are dealing with inflammatory bowel disease, like Crohn's disease, colitis, ulcerative colitis, all right, fiber might not be the best. But, overall, if you're a healthy individual, I am a big fan of fiber, right? Again, that's not to say the carnivore diet is bad, but my own opinion, all right, and what I've read through studies and just working with clients overall, I'm a big fan of fiber, Mary. I try to get fiber in on a daily basis. I feel healthy with it. My clients are having good digestion, so I'm a big fan of fiber. I'm glad that you asked that, Mary. How about getting enough vitamin C on this diet? It's a very good question again, Thelma. Right, you're getting a lot of B vitamins on this diet. All right, you're getting a ton of B vitamins. All right, it's like taking a B complex vitamin. All right, that's the nice thing about this. All right, I guess is you're getting good B vitamins. You're getting iron. Vitamin C can be a little bit low. On this diet here as well. All right, so again, all right, you can supplement with vitamin C. All right, you can help you to supplement with vitamin C. All right? Again, you could take a probiotic for good gut health, but again, they just don't think that they need it. Vitamin C is going to be a lot lower than if we were obviously eating plants and things of that nature. vegetables. I mean, if you eat broccoli, um, you know, and here's the thing about vitamin C is, you know, collagen formation, metabolism of cholesterol, and protein. So vitamin C would be amazing on this diet. I mean, your metabolism, you're going to get more cholesterol, all right, because you're eating these meats, you're eating all these foods that are a little bit higher in cholesterol. All right, you have the metabolization of cholesterol and protein, absorption of iron. You're getting iron in this diet. It's an antioxidant. Um, you know, if you're taking out vitamin C, it's very um, questionable if you're going carnivore diet. How are you getting that vitamin C in? All right, but I need to go to this study. All right, vitamin C on this carnivore diet. All right, you know, there's a doctor out there who really made, again, he's one of the big guys. Maybe you've heard of him, Dr. Sean Baker. I haven't really watched too many of his videos, to be honest. I've seen the videos out there, but I have not watched them. I watched some different ones. He would be a good one to maybe watch. All right, but there's just so many other individuals that are big on it. I just haven't got to him yet. Um, he would argue, you know, if you're eating uh, fresh meat is going to be preventing like things like scurvy and things of that nature. They would argue that in the context, you only need a certain amount of vitamin C to be healthy to prevent certain things. You know, right now it's really only hypothesized, it's anecdotal, that on a low to zero carb, again, zero carb carnivore diet meal plan, it's likely you need less, all right, less vitamin C. Why? Because glucose and vitamin C have a near identical molecule structure. What does that mean? When glucose and vitamin C compete, glucose wins out. All right, and the carnivore diet is all about not raising glucose, not raising insulin. So they would argue that you really only need, your diet needs to be like 4%. Get 4% of vitamin C, 5%. Um, you're not getting a ton of vitamin C from things like carbohydrates. That's what they are. That's what they argue. Um, Also, they're looking at things like grass-fed beef, and that's a lot of the thing. Grass-fed beef, chicken, turkey, good salmon, right? There's studies out there that show that there is a pretty good amount of vitamin C in those foods. So that's another thing. I think Dr. Sean Baker sort of makes that argument as well, and he's great. He makes great content. Um, Only from the things I've read about him, but you know, haven't watched them, so I can't comment too much on it. But you know, getting good grass-fed beef, getting good quality beef, quality chicken, turkey, lamb, good quality salmon, tuna, grass-fed, fresh beef, all right, is going to give you vitamin C in that grain-fed, all right? Why? Because, you know, they're or grass-fed as well. Grass-fed is going to be giving you, grass-fed meat is going to be giving you more vitamin C. Obviously, that's because of the meat that they're eating, all right? It's not filled with antibiotics, all right? It's not filled with like those antibiotics that other sources are coming from. It's healthy food. So what they eat is what you're going to be intaking. All right. So that's why people don't like beef that has all those antibiotics, because you consume those types of meat. That's what you're going to be consuming. If you eat grass-fed, all right, you're going to be getting more vitamin C and more nutrients from those good sources of beef, lamb, chicken, turkey. And so that's their argument with vitamin C. If you're eating good quality foods, you're getting more than enough vitamin C. And that's what I've taken just by what I've read, what people say about the diet, Thalma, um, and again, it's anecdotal. I hope that helps answer the question. The one guy I listened to said you go longer between bowel movements. Yes, Christine, it's illogical, right? Because you're not getting the fiber, all right? That insoluble fiber, what's not breaking down, all right? That's not breaking. It's funny, Snowy. I'm just reading your comment. That's not breaking down by by the body. So, when you don't get that amount of fiber, all right, bowel movements aren't going to be happening as often. The one thing that fiber does is it promotes digestive function, all right, digestive tract functioning, all right. And what does that do? It promotes bowel movements, all right. And that's why I like fiber as well. Going back to your question, Mary, fiber is going to be one of those things. One, good bacteria, but again, their argument is you're not eating inflammatory foods, so you're going to have good bacteria. Seems to be the argument. Seems to be what I'm reading mostly on and hearing mostly, looking at the science of it. Not studies, but science. But again, you are going to probably go a little bit longer between bowel movements, and again, that's because of the lower fiber. That's a little bit because of the lower nutrients. All right. Again, all right, some people are fine with that, Christine. All right, if you got to go an extra day. I'm not a fan of it. But again, a little bit longer between bowel movements. Again, sometimes they say the benefits that they get outweighs having to wait an extra day, all right, an extra half a day, an extra day and a half, whatever it is, all right, because of the benefits that they're getting. All right, now let's go to. I hope that your questions are great, guys. Keep the questions coming because again, this is a discussion. This is a discussion on the carnivore diet, and it has to be a discussion right now. And at the end of the day, am I against the carnivore diet? No, I'm not. Am I against long-term carnivore diet? Not against. I think saying being against the carnivore diet long-term, all right. Right now, we just don't know enough. We haven't had enough of the science kind of come in here, all right, to help us sort of, figure things out just a little bit more. I haven't had clients that have been on the carnivore diet for a long time, so I can't speak from experience. And you guys know I like speaking from experience and not just from the science. Yes, people always want to go back to the science, but what is your experience with individuals? I think that's the biggest thing. And right now, we're looking at the experience of individuals, anecdotal evidence. And anecdotal, I don't mean anecdotal. Hopefully, people have made it to the video this long. I'm not saying anecdotal in a bad way. All I mean is that I'm just reading comments from individuals, what they have sort of been dealing with on their own level, what they've personally dealt with, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's evidence based right there. But a lot of people really just rely on the science. So let's go to the study. Let's make it really, really simple. Really, really simple here. Here we go. All right, so this was the one good study that I was able to find. Not the one good study, but really the only study that I was able to find here, guys. All right, and it was from 2021, which you're going to start to see. You're going to start to see more studies on the carnivore diet because it's getting more and more popular. It's a fairly new diet. And I will say this, dietitians, all right, and even some nutritionists are really, really opposed to the carnivore diet. And thank you so much for the thumbs up. All right, let's see if we can get to 10 thumbs up here, guys. That would be great. Thank you so much. But seem to be really, really opposed to the carnivore diet. All right, why? Because of the higher cholesterol intake. They think it's more of a fad diet, something that they can't sustain. You're not getting, like you guys have said, fiber, vitamin C, all those other things. You're seeing a lot of people speak out against, right? But now you're seeing people coming out And self-reporting. So I think the title here is important to point out. Behavioral characteristics and self-reported health status among pretty good N number here. N number just means the amount of people who are included in the study. Fairly good. I mean, over 2,000 adults consuming a carnivore diet. Now, with that said, a little bit biased because these people are on a carnivore diet already. So maybe just a little bit of bias thrown in here. It'd be interesting to see people who didn't start with a carnivore diet and then switched. I think that would have been pretty nice, but we're seeing, objectives. We obtained descriptive data on the nutritional practices and health status of a large group of carnivore diet consumers, people who are already on the carnivore diet. So maybe just a little bit of bias here, but again, that's okay. This is our best of what we got. So, median age, 44 years, 60%, 67% male. Again, you do see a lot more males. Damon, Coach Nate, what is your go-to cut of beef for the carnivore diet? That's interesting. What would be my go-to cut of beef for the carnivore diet? If I was to go on the carnivore diet, I think my go-to for the cut of beef would be something like a ribeye. I think maybe top sirloin, something that has a little bit more fat in it, something that is good protein, good amount of fat. That would be my go-to. All right, I would want both of those, and I think there's nothing wrong with that cut if you're on the carnivore diet. And I think that's one of the most popular ones. I'm not 100% sure. Again, if you're asking me what would be my go-to cut, it would probably be a ribeye. Just because you're going to feel full, you're going to feel satiated, you're getting good protein, you're getting great B vitamins, good vitamin B12, all of those different things. My son, that's awesome, Mary. Your son's a dietitian. I don't think so. I hope that helps, Damon. By the way, that would be my go-to cut. Not like I don't think my go-to cut would be something like a really really lean cut of meat. I think I would go for the more fatty cuts of meat, like a ribeye, and that's just my own personal opinion. My son is a dietitian. I don't think he'd agree with a carnivore diet. It makes sense, Mary. Again, like I said, you're kind of backing up there. A lot of dietitians are not fans of this diet. I'll just say that from the research that I've done. Again, my anecdotal as well. They're just not a fan. They think that it's going to increase cardiovascular disease, health issues, high cholesterol, low nutrients, digestive issues like people have brought up in here. They're just not huge fans of it. But we got to go back to hopefully you guys are sorry, I'm behind on the stream here. Hopefully I didn't cut out there. Was the stream good there, guys? Because for some reason I'm way behind you guys. Didn't have the study up there. Maybe I hit a button there, but hopefully the stream kept going there. If you guys could just let me know for a quick second, that'd be great. Thank you so much. But yeah, I don't think most dietitians are on board with a carnivore diet. Now, I'm one of those nutritionists that if it works for you, it works for you. We got to look at, if it's working for people and people are really happy and, they're getting their results. I'm still not sold on the long-term carnivore diet. But does that mean that I think it's bad? There could be a study that comes out that shows carnivore diet is fine long-term. I think long-term, it might not be the best option for you. Again, does that mean I think it's a bad diet and that you shouldn't do it? I would be a little bit more cautious with it long-term. A lot of type 1 diabetes individuals out there love the carnivore diet. I don't mind that for them. Trying to keep insulin levels, at those normal levels. I think that's something they got to speak with their medical practitioner about as well, though. So let's get into the study here. All right, and now let's come down here. So conclusions, blah blah blah. We don't need to go into that. It's not blah blah blah, but it's going to be shown in this figure right here. So let me just make sure the comments here, because I'm going to go on a little bit of diatribe here with this study here. Again, this was one of the best studies, really one of the only studies that I could find on the carnivore diet and everything else. I must admit, let me just catch up on a couple comments here. I must admit, thank you guys for the comments. Thank you everyone for being in here. I really, really appreciate it, especially on a Wednesday, especially talking about a specific diet. So I thank you guys so much. I must admit that I love my veggies and tomatoes too much for this diet. Each to their own. Well said, Snowy. Well said. To each their own. If it's working for them, right, then let them go for it. If it's and we'll see here the self-reporting, all right, why they're staying with it. All right, I like my veggies too. I had 2 salads yesterday. I had huge Swiss chard. I still got to show you guys my salads and stuff like that. And I want to do videos where I'm actually on the video discussing some certain things, because there's some teas out there that I really like. I want to review a couple things, and I want to show you some of the things that I eat on a daily basis. Like I had a pretty good salad that was just romaine last night, but before that I had a nice salmon meal with rice, with peas, but then also fresh Swiss chard, baby spinach, arugula, other things thrown in there that I can't really think of off the top of my head. There's a lot thrown in there, but a huge salad with olive oil and with a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette thrown on there. So I'd miss my vegetables too on here, guys. I'd miss my carbohydrates. I hope you guys can see this. I don't think I can make it any bigger. But let's just go over it. So here's the thing. All right. Chronic disease. So these are people who are finding worsening, all right, symptoms, all right. Overall health improvement, hunger, food cravings, mental clarity. Remember I talked about that? The mental clarity, mental fog, memory, focus, sleep, strength. So people working out, endurance, and energy. All right. So this side over here, the lighter side, are people who found that when being on a carnivore diet, right, they found a better change, all right, that it improved, all right, that, energy improved, endurance improved, strength, all these things that we see on the right side, all right. This in the middle here, sort of section is unchanged, and this little tiny lines, I don't know if you guys can see it, you might have to squint to see it here, is worsening, all right? And again, keep in mind these are carnivore users already. But, all right, let's just start from the bottom here. Participants, so of those 2,029 individuals, all right, they saw their energy, 89% of people saw that their energy was better. So keep this in mind here, guys, all right? Keep this in mind, all right? Of those individuals who are on a carnivore diet, right, and what they self-reported as being better. I would love to see some of your salad. Yes, Mary, I'll give some of my salad recipes. All right, and it's simple. That's the thing. Keep it simple. Get those good greens in, and just make sure that you're getting in those. For me, those greens. I know it's kind of against our carnivore diet discussion here, but maybe I'll make one on a live here, Damon. I think that would be great. I would have to do it on my phone, but again, I've done it making that. I know how to do that. So maybe I can make a salad on a live. I don't think a short would be long enough, so maybe we could do a live. But, energy, self-reported, 89% of individuals saw, wow, that's a lot. 89%, a better, all right, their energy improved. All right, 70, and again, the reason why that's surprising me a little bit, a lot of people will self-report and go off the carnivore diet because they find that, and maybe these people aren't working out, but a lot of people find that their workouts really are compromised because of the carnivore diet. They're not getting the energy for their workouts. These are people who are having more intense workouts, but 89 is very, very high. All right, that's a high number. All right, let's continue with this. And keep your questions coming, guys. But yes, I'll definitely do that, guys, with the salads for sure. All right, so 89% better, all right, with energy. Only 9% unchanged, 2% worse. 2%. That's amazing, all right? We look at endurance. 76% of individuals, all right, said that their endurance was better. 23% unchanged. Makes sense. I mean, your endurance during workouts is not going to be as good. All right, it's just not. All right, you're gonna have a little bit of issues here with your workouts. Same with strength, like 20%. All right, unchanged. I mean, I guess it's not getting worse. It's only still 2% worse. All right, keep that in mind. All right, sleep. 69% saw an improvement in sleep. All right, 29% unchanged. This is probably like the one where they didn't see the most change or the most benefit. 3% said that it got worse. These are all very, very low. 83 in focus, and this is a big thing with individuals who are on the carnivore diet. All right, mind, like more mental clarity, better memory, things of that nature. All right, 83% saw an increase in focus. 83%. That's huge. That's a really big number. So they saw improvements in focus, 16% unchanged, and only 1% got worse. Memory, 66. So 2/3 of individuals saw an increase in memory. 33% unchanged. That's the biggest one there. All right, unchanged, and only 1% worse. Here's the big one. Mental clarity. All right, so brain fog going down. 85% of individuals only. All right, 85% of individuals better. That's a very high number. So an improvement in mental clarity. Only 14% unchanged, only 1% worse. Hunger, food cravings, and this makes total sense. All right, this is the one that I can really, really relate to, and that is backed up a little bit by studies. If you're having those carbohydrates, if you're having fruits and things of that nature, all right, yes, you could be putting yourself at risk for more food cravings, increasing hunger, things of that nature. A lot of people will kind of do carnivore diet and then add fruit. All right, a lot of the times, if you're eating fat and protein, 91, all right, hunger will go down. So 91 does not surprise me. Unchanged, 8, and then only 2% again. Now, here's the big one. These last two are the big ones here, guys. Overall health, 95%, all right, of these individuals, that's probably like 2,000 of the 2,029 of individuals, saw that their overall health improved. So that could be a combination of any of these, maybe one or two, but probably some sort of combination, probably weight loss being one of the biggest ones. But 95% saw an increase, an improvement in overall health. Their overall health was better. Okay? Unbelievable. 4% only thought that their overall health was unchanged, and only 1% said that their overall health was worse by going on a carnivore diet. All right? So 95% of individuals who went on this carnivore diet, all right, said that their health was better for doing so. Amazing. I mean, self-reported, a little bit of anecdotal, maybe some bias thrown in there, guys, because these individuals were already on a carnivore diet. But compared to the time from when they weren't on a carnivore diet to the time that they started to being on that carnivore diet, 95% overall health increase. Something to think about. All right, only 4% unchanged. That's amazing. You can probably hear the surprise in my voice. I went over this already, but again, just breaking down the numbers and seeing it again is just very, very, it's amazing. 1% worse, that's it. Only 1% of individuals self-reported that their overall health got worse after going on the carnivore diet, guys. Now, chronic disease, what does this mean? All right, what's the last one mean? It means that their health got worse. All right, so the other one was improvement in overall health, chronic disease, health got worse. 69% didn't see any change. All right, there was no change, so their health did not get worse. Same with this 30%. Only 1% saw their health getting worse. Some sort of chronic disease. Not exactly sure what it was. That could mean many different things, from heart health to energy, focus, sleep. Who knows? All right. But again, you are seeing just a little bit. Some individuals really not showing, all right, those bad symptoms of really going on that carnivore diet, their health decreasing with that chronic disease. So that's the figure, guys. I mean, that is the figure. Those are the figures of going on, let me throw that up there, of going on the carnivore diet. Pretty amazing when you look at it, all right? And again, this is probably one of the better studies that are out there. Again, it's self-reported. It's not really like a, really taking individuals who weren't on a carnivore diet, doing some sort of like double-blind study or a study where we're actually looking at people, having some sort of placebo effect. These are just individuals who are, self-reporting, all right, their health status on after consuming or while consuming a carnivore diet. So very interesting. I thought, this kind of gives a little look. Again, it's anecdotal. It might be a little bit biased, but again, I don't mean anecdotal in a bad sense. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. Forgot to do a thumbs up. Just did. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate the thumbs up. You guys are amazing. But food for thought, no pun intended. All right, seeing those individuals. All right, we don't know how long that they were on for. At least I didn't see it. We know it was conducted on March 20th, but I couldn't find, how long these individuals were on the carnivore diet, but just really seeing, all right, health benefits after going on the diet. It'd be really interesting to see the self-reported health benefits after like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and this science is going to come out as time goes along, because the diet is still very, very new, guys. It's still very, very new. It's really exploded in, I'd say, 5 years. All right, 5 years, and that's new when it comes to a diet. Again, my personal preference, well-balanced diet. That's what it is right now. It's my personal preference for my own self. I've had individuals who have lost 100 plus pounds on just a balanced diet. There's individuals who self-report, or individuals who leave messages, who have lost 100 pounds or got off medications, lost 70 pounds while on the carnivore diet as well. So take that into consideration, guys. So we saw the foods list. We saw what the carnivore diet is, why they're going on the carnivore diet, what some of the risks, all right? Risks, I kind of just say, a deficiency in like fiber, in vitamin C, and different other types of micronutrients and things of that nature. I think fiber is important. I really do. A lot of dietitians and things and individuals like that, nutritionists, are concerned with the amount of cholesterol. Damon, you asked me what my go-to cut of meat it would be a ribeye if I was on this carnivore diet and I was like dialed into the carnivore diet alone. But even with a ribeye steak, you are getting a lot of cholesterol in there. Now, I mean, I'm reading a book right now, and it's saying good and bad. And this is why nutrition can be so complex sometimes, and it can really, really be confusing. Is, this is a retired doctor. I think went to Cornell, has written a ton of books, well respected in this field, and he's saying good and bad cholesterol is so 1990. All right, he's saying his argument is that there is no good or bad cholesterol. You just got to look at total cholesterol and then go from there. Focus on liver health, focus on gut health. That's what his argument is. So, it is what it is. We got to take time and see what happens over the long run. But, with this study here, people who are on the carnivore diet are self-reporting amazing results from the carnivore diet. And this anecdotal evidence, these individuals who are on the diet obviously are very satisfied with the health conditions and with the health improvements that they are getting. All right. So very, 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 it was kind of cool to see this because, like I said, I think this is one of the better studies that is out there, even though it's self-reported on the carnivore diet in and of itself. You see these videos all the time. Just go on YouTube and type in, carnivore diet, and you'll see people who are on the carnivore diet. I'm not a big fan of this. Tried the carnivore diet for 30 days. Joe Rogan did this, and that just really made it explode. I think he did it in 2022. Not a huge fan of like the 30 days, but he saw improvements in 30 days, so take it for what it is. But I think you got to go a little bit longer than 30 days. I think you got to go a little bit longer. You saw some weight loss, really, really, 30 days is not a long time. I was having a conversation with another nutritionist with omega-3s. It seems like all my conversation and research is on omega-3s these days. But to see like the health benefits of omega-3 fatty acids, you're looking at a timeline of at least 6 weeks. All right, so not like the month. All right, not a month, at least 6 weeks to 6 months. All right. So to start seeing benefits of like certain diet changes, of certain macronutrient changes, because omega-3s are a macronutrient change. It's a healthy fat. All right, you got your protein, fat, carbohydrates, and I would even include fiber in there. All right, it can take a long time, all right, or at least some time, all right, to start to see these health changes. Same things with vitamin B12. All right, people don't just get one shot if you're low in vitamin B12. They don't just go out and get one shot in a month of vitamin B12. They consistently do that for some time before they go and get their blood work checked again by a doctor. All right, let me just catch up on comments here. Do the carnivores combine their diet with intermittent fasting like keto people do? That's a great question. Very good question. From what I've seen, Thalma, I haven't seen too much of the carnivores combining intermittent fasting. It's something that I haven't really seen too much of or even heard of people doing the intermittent fasting like the keto individuals do. Keep in mind there is not a lot of individuals who do keto and intermittent fasting at the same time. You might see like certain channels and a lot of individuals on that channel. And this is where things can kind of get a little bit into a gray area. You'll see people on those channels who are doing like keto and intermittent fasting, but that's just a very, very small percentage of the total population. So there's keto intermittent fasting. Yes, it might be popular on a few channels, but there's not a lot of individuals out there who are doing keto and intermittent fasting. But it's a great question because yes, some people who do keto do combine it with intermittent fasting. I've not seen the carnivore carnivore individuals implementing the intermittent fasting as well. I just have not seen it. I have not run across it. It seems like they're getting their nutrients and their meals throughout the day. But it's a very good question. But just keep in mind as well, guys, all right, if you see on certain channels, if you see on certain blogs or things like that, individuals who are combining keto and intermittent fasting, that is a very small percentage of individuals of the total population who are eating in that way, right? And they claim very good results. So I'm not going to argue against it, all right, against keto and intermittent fasting. I will say I could not do it. I did keto 2 years ago now. At this very time, it was right in January. I went through the keto phase just so I could give better outlook on things, or at least a better opinion on it. And it was very, very tough for me. Just doing the keto. I couldn't imagine doing it with intermittent fasting. One, my workouts would be horrible. Horrible. All right. I'd have no carbohydrates in my system, and I'd be working out in the morning. And my last meal would be, sometime at like 6 or 7 the day before. So I'd basically be doing a workout while being very low in calories, no glycogen whatsoever. So it really hurt my workouts, and it was something that just did not work with me. The keto was just fine. I didn't mind keto too bad, but it was very restrictive. I always say, if I can't eat an apple while on a diet, then it's probably not the diet for me. I'll always say that. Or have a banana. If I can't have a banana after the workout, then it's probably not the diet for me. But some people really, really like the keto and intermittent fasting, but I've just not seen the carnivore individuals doing intermittent fasting with it. So great question, Thelma. Some eat only once a day. Yes. What's that? OMAD, Snowy. So OMAD is 1 meal a day. OMAD, OMAD. So a lot of OMAD individuals. Again, OMAD would not be something for myself. It just would not be something that would be feasible with me. Again, working out, but also work, mental clarity, energy, it would just all take a hit, sadly. So, like that OMAD and keto and all that, intermittent fasting was fine with me. I took well to intermittent fasting. All of those would work very well for me. Christine, I would watch Cook Nate. That's good to know, guys. I'm glad you guys are giving me the feedback, because I'll throw some in there. Maybe some lives where I'm showing you some of my meals, some of the recipes that I use for my overall health, and then you guys can maybe add them. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But at least you have the idea and some of the things that are out there. Let me just make sure this picture goes back up. There we go. We'll take that off. So I hope that gives a better understanding. Is it fad or follow? I think you gotta. In some ways, it's a fad, but I think at the end of the day, you gotta go follow, guys. You don't. And when I say follow, I'm saying don't go out there. I'm not recommending carnivore to you individuals, to individuals listening to it. If you want to try it, go ahead and try it. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then go to a different diet. Go to your well-balanced diet where you're getting goals, where you're happy, where you're, not feeling too restrictive. I think that's the thing. Would I call it a fad? I don't know. It seems like it's here to stay. It seems like individuals are happy with it. It's a very small percentage of individuals who are doing carnivore diet. Yes, we know that it's popular. All right, but again, keep in mind, guys, you see it on YouTube, we see it on social media. Sometimes, that loud minority out there, or even like videos that are going to get like 100,000 views on a carnivore diet, let's say even 200,000-300,000 views on a carnivore diet, is still very, very small in the overall population of individuals who are eating. It's a very low number. It's a very close-knit group. I commend them for that. That's awesome. It's amazing to have a close-knit group if you're doing a certain diet in anything, fitness, nutrition, diet. Have a group. I think that's great in anything that you do. You can have that support group. I think that's amazing, just like we have here. And so, fat or follow, I say give it a try yourself. Give it a try yourself. You can't go against those people who are self-reporting. Again, maybe a little bit biased there. I think we'll start to see some studies come out based on science. You know, I'm more interested to see, will it affect digestion in the long run? Will it affect heart health in the long run? Will it be inflammatory? All right, will we see inflammatory markers go up? And we can see that through things like inflammatory bowel disease, other inflammatory diseases. Is there a chronic disease risks that are associated with the carnivore diet? Who knows? We will see. Time will tell. The vegans, yes. Vegans, vegetarians, probably not a big fan of the carnivore diet, Snowy. We can say that 100%, my friend. We can absolutely say that. So, wow, we've been going for 70 minutes. Guys. Unbelievable. You can call it the Foods for Health Cooking Live. There you go, Damon. That's what I'll call it that. Maybe the Coach Nate cooking show. All right, live cooking show, Damon. We'll come up with something good. There, and I can do the live stream on my phone. So we can go to the kitchen. We don't have to be in the studio. Again, this was one of the more interesting and one of the, I would say, more challenging live streams to do. Why? Because there's just not a ton of research out there. It's very easy for me to describe what the carnivore diet is, break down the diet, all right? But there's just not the science that's out there right now, all right? We can listen to individuals like Dr. Sean Baker, all right? And that's where I'm getting, and other individuals out there, that's where we're getting most of our information. Looking at the comments, looking at the self-reported study that I showed, that's where we're getting the information. But the reason why it's a little bit more difficult is because it's anecdotal, it's self-reported, all right, and it's not really based on science, and I don't have the experience working with individuals on a carnivore diet. One, they have no interest in it whatsoever. And two, I always tell people, what's the best diet for yourself, and follow that to meet your goals, because then you'll achieve it. So I'm glad that we were able to go through this. You guys did an amazing job with helping me out today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who got into the stream today. Again, you guys are amazing. All right, you guys are almost like my go-tos. All right, on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. So big shout out to Snowy, Mary PA, Damon, Christine. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Thalma. Big shout out to all of you guys. And again, I hope I'm not missing anyone. Sometimes when I scroll, it cuts out. I can't scroll all the way up to the top. So if I missed anyone, I apologize. This stream will be up. Sometimes it's good to give it a second listen to. But, the carnivore diet seems like it's here to stay, guys. It really seems like it's here to stay. I want to do a check-in stream. I think the check-in streams, just kind of like a not so deep dive into a certain topic. I think just checking in with you. There's things that come out every single day, and I want to put my opinion out there. Agree, disagree, give my opinions on it. In a non-judgmental way, of course. That's just how I do things. That's just my personality. There's not going to be drama on this channel. There's just not going to be. We might do some reactions, but I'd like to kind of check in with how you guys are doing, and then do some cooking streams. Let's go for the cooking streams, guys. If that's what we want, let's do it. Let's go for it. Thank you, Coach Nate. It's been an hour well spent. Well, Snowy, that is the best compliment I can hear. So thank you so much, guys. Damon, appreciate you, Coach, and all in the chat. Thank you, Damon. Appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for coming in. Hope everything's great there on the West Coast, and like you said, everyone in chat. So we might do no, actually tomorrow I won't be able to. Maybe a little bit later, we'll see. Probably not. Friday we might hop on here just for a check-in stream. I want to give the my opinions on certain things that are coming out, whether that be different guidelines that are coming out, even like organic food, pesticides being used, new information on that is always coming out. I think, I can be a valuable resource for that information. But just, making sure that we're just talking and getting good content out there and answering questions live. I think that is the best thing. And I want to make sure I had some pretty good feedback on the morning content. It'll probably be something like 30 minutes. I think Wednesday and Saturdays will be the deep dive, and then other days can be like a 30-minute quick discussion, a check-in, not so long, check-in, talk, and then we can continue with our days, guys. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in to chat and asking your amazing questions. Again, the engagement is one of the biggest parts of the live stream. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a great Wednesday. I will probably talk with you on Friday. That's the goal. And then we'll do another deep dive on Saturday. So thank you, everyone. Take care. Look out for more videos that are coming out. They've been coming out almost daily, and I want to make sure that I get them out as often as possible for you guys. So thank you so much. Dalma, thank you. Thank you, guys. And I will talk to you probably Friday next. So, and my face will be on stream. Let's throw that in there. So thank you, guys. We'll talk soon. Have a great West.